Yo, what is going on, gamers? Your boy Dion, aka I'm Maverick, here to talk some Madden 18. I just got back from EA Play, where I was able to play Madden 18, and I'm also an EA Game Changer, so I played Madden 18 in, the months leading up to EA Play. So I know a few things about Madden 18, but we don't have any gameplay of it, and I think that sucks. I was actually at a feedback session at EA Play, and I told him, I was like, I think y'all fluffing up, man. Y'all gotta, the streets is hungry. Y'all gotta feed them with some gameplay. And the answer that I got is that, there will be gameplay in the coming weeks. My thoughts is that, they have Longshot, which is their new story mode. That's their focus. They're trying to bring new people in, and they probably didn't want gameplay. Crowding it's just tough, because we came out of EA Play last year with more info, and as content creators, we were able to capture some gameplay and give it to you guys. And so people on Twitter, YouTube comments, they're speculating. They're like, yo, they have something to hide. This game is trash. It's not ready. And that's not the case, because if you contrast that with the people that were actually at EA Play and they played the game, no one's saying that, right? And so I think it's just a marketing move. One I don't agree with, but hey, you know what I mean? It is what it is. So I will drop this for you guys. We're going to talk about 10 things that are new to Madden. Hopefully this answers some of your guys' questions, hold you over, and then I'll probably do a follow-up video with any questions that you have following this video, and I'll kind of answer those. So I'm going to dive into the list, but first I will give you a warning. I can be a little long-winded, a little drawn out. It takes me a while to get to the point. It's kind of just my style. It's something I'm working on, but some people actually enjoy that. But apologies if this video probably could be 5 minutes, and I'll find a way to make it an hour. But I'm going to do my best to be short, concise, to the point, but still give you some info, right? Some intel. All right, so number one new addition to the Madden franchise is obviously the Frostbite Engine. This is the big one. They've hyped this up. Probably one of the first things that we knew about the game, and a lot of people anticipated it because FIFA moved over to Frostbite last year. I'll try to be short here, but what this means is I don't know that I understand it completely, but here's my understanding, talking to the dev team and stuff like that. This is probably one of the biggest things I learned when I went out as a game changer and actually got to see the game being made. So they have an engine that they're creating a game in, right? They have these systems, and they have limitations. It's almost like building with Legos. They only have a certain amount of Legos they can work with. So there might be an easy fix to a game, and we're like, just do this. Just right click, hit properties, fix it. And they're like, that is so simple, but because of our system, we can only do this. And sometimes they have to work around and do these things. And I didn't even know it was like that. I don't know. I literally thought it was like, I don't know, like right clicking and fixing it is easy. You just fix the game, and it's deeper than that. So with Frostbite, it's almost like they got more Legos, and it expands on their possibilities on what they can do within the game. So I know a physics engine is part of, like, there's physics that comes with it. Graphically, they're able to do a lot more. So textures, lighting, particles, all of that is improved majorly. You can see it in the little trailer that they launched. You can see it in the Longshot trailer. You can just tell it's going to look a lot better graphically. So number two is Longshot, which I just talked about, which is their story mode. Now, this is not a superstar mode. This isn't a creative player. It's not like 2K's My Career or My Player. It is a linear story. Well, I say linear hesitantly, because we'll say there's a character, Devin, who's a quarterback, and you have to play as him. But there's branching dialogue, and there's decisions that you can make, which can shape your story and make it different than mine. So that means y'all can watch your boys' walkthrough of it, you know what I mean, enjoy it, and then still play it on your own and have a different experience. So think kind of like the Telltale games, where you can kind of go left, go right, stuff like that. But that's Longshot. I think it should be clear, though, there's not any kind of like superstar mode, which I think a lot of people were asking for, and some people are upset that we didn't get that. We got this instead. But I get what they're doing here. They're trying to reach out to a new crowd, trying to bring in more people. So some of the core Madden guys might not be feeling this at the moment, and I get it. I don't think it was made for us, but I still think there's fun to be had. So, but that's Longshot. Number three, we have MUT Squads. I will be very quick here because I did a video dedicated to this. I'll try to link it in the description. If I forget, just search it on the channel. I dropped it like a couple weeks ago. Now, this is team play returning back to Madden, but now it's inside of Ultimate Team. So that alone adds a lot of depth, and I'm really excited about that. But like I said, I did a video dedicated on that, so I won't be long here. In that video, I have, developer interviews. We really take a deep dive on it, and all the info's there. So number four, we have MUT Champions. Now, I believe this is something that they're modeling from FIFA. I didn't play FIFA last year, but it's a weekend league, so you'll somehow have to qualify for that league during the week, and over the weekend you'll have to win anywhere between like 25, 40. I think they're still trying to decide on the number of games, but the more games you would win over the weekend, the better rewards you would get. And inside of this weekend league, this would be like the best rewards inside of MUT, so you'd have a lot of incentive to try and get there. Number 5, we have the play styles. This might be one of my favorites. So we have the 3 play styles now. There'll be arcade, simulation, and competitive. So what does this mean? I mean, the modes will obviously play different. Arcade will be more of a fun, fast pace. I think no stamina, crazier catches, stuff like that. Probably bigger hits, more fumbles, more an arcadey mode. Simulation is their attempt to try and get as close to an actual NFL experience. So there'll be more variables, there'll be more penalties, there'll be more injuries, there'll be, you know, more inaccurate passes, drop passes, stuff like that. Stuff that is realistic. Competitive will be stripping some of those variables and trying to make it more skill based. So less dropped interceptions, less dropped passes, you know, probably less fumbles, I would hope. Probably less, the penalties for ratings on inaccurate passes might be tuned differently. So stuff like that is how that's how those modes will play. But the true beauty of this is it allows them to do these tuning updates throughout the years and patches, and only patch or tune specific modes. So if the sim crowd feels like something's off and they're being vocal about it, they can just fix the simulation mode, which wasn't how it was last year. If the competitive crowd was like, no, we need this, we need less drop passes or whatever, they would fix that, and then the whole simulation crowd would go crazy. They're like, no, you broke it. And this crowd saying, yes, you fixed it. So now they can tweak individually and hopefully do a better job at keeping everybody happy. Number 6, we have franchise. I'll be quick here. One, because I don't think there was a lot of upgrades, and I've gotten this from like the CFM crowd. Like, I've been getting the vibe that you guys are unhappy. But there were some things, and I'm not the best representative of the CFM or the simulation, like franchise movement. For that, you should be typing in your YouTube search bar, Sim Football Critic, Smitty, Shotmaster. Those are the dudes holding it down for you guys. But the changes that I do know coming this year is the draft board, which I heard was a highly requested one. I don't know how true that is. You got off-ball injuries. You have the coach adjustments, which is similar to like NCAA. So within that, you can do the cornerback and DB matchups. So like go best on best. Like you can match up by speed, I believe, like route running and stuff like that. So that's cool. And then I think they have, I think it's called Play Now Live, where they'll have games of the week and you can play those. And then from there, like import that and continue that game. Like if it's like a week 4 matchup, you can play that. And let's say it's the Cowboys, you can continue that into a CFM with the Cowboys. So I heard it's not a lot. Maybe you guys, CFM guys, can let me know. But I know those are the upgrades. I kind of put those on to number 6. If there weren't upgrades, I don't know if this makes you feel better. I do know, like I said, the porting process, they weren't able to get to all the modes that they wanted to. But I will say this, I do know you guys are well represented in the game changers. The CFM guys are very vocal. If you guys feel like you guys are being underserved as CFM guys, I kind of get that vibe, and it's echoed at the game changer meeting. So don't feel like you guys aren't being represented and you guys aren't being heard. The CFM ninjas are holding it down for y'all. So I would be hopeful that maybe more changes come next year. This was a big year with like Longshot, the port from Frostbite, MUT squads being added, stuff like that. So I would hope one of these next coming years you guys really get an update that you guys are happy about. But number 7, ID the mic. So now we're getting into some of the gameplay features. This is where you can ID. Let's say someone's running a blitz on you over and over again, and let's say it's like nickel blitz. You can ID the mic, so you can pick a defender that you want to make sure gets blocked on this play. So like if it's nickel blitz, you can ID that nickel back and then make sure that ninja gets blocked. And it's been effective in my testing of it. We'll see how it works, you know, once millions and millions of people get their hands on it and are trying to break it. But it works pretty well in my experience. And nano detection is still in, but I feel like this is a step towards hopefully getting that removed. Because nano detection, I feel like, was kind of you know, is like a cheesy way of stopping a real problem, which was some of the blitzes that were coming in. But nano detection kind of, it's just not realistic. It looks weird, it's funky, so it's still in there. But if this goes well, this is probably the start of scaling back on that and getting the blocking to where it should be. Number 8, we have the whole DB wide receiver interaction, the whole chuck system. So they added this, I believe, primarily for team play, which was added back in Mud Squads, right? But you can do this in all game modes. So there's like a mini game within the actual game between the wide receiver and the DB. And the wide receiver has different releases. The DB can press, they can, you know, press them towards the outside, the inside, straight on. And there's like, it's like a rock, paper, scissors game, and there's different scenarios where the wide receiver can get a small win, the wide receiver can get a big win, and vice versa. The DB can get a small win or a big win, or they kind of like stalemate. And so it adds a lot of depth to that position, especially when you're playing team play. But even think of like career mode. Let's say we do a series like we did with me, Trent, and Juice in Sub Dynasty where we were cornerbacks. Now we can do that, and the cornerback DB interactions is just so much more fun. So really excited about that. Number 9, we have the target passing. This is really cool. It is, if you remember the NFL Fever series, I think Juice and I did a couple videos on it. I think it's I forget which one it's in, but basically, let's say I'm throwing to the B receiver. I can hold the left trigger, and a target will actually go on the field. And I can put that target wherever I want to put the ball exactly where I want it. Now, of course, things like throw power come into play, but so I can't just extend it all the way. But it really allows you to have total control over where you're passing. Now, you can still do the normal pass leads, but this is something in addition to that can really work well on like red zone situations where you want to throw like an end zone fade, or there's a streak, you want to really put it on the back, you know, the outside shoulder, stuff like that. But it is a very difficult thing to pull off. You know, like I said, I've been playing it for a while, and I haven't been able to get it down to where I'm comfortable even doing it in a game where I'm trying to win. And so it's going to add to the skill gap, and people that really put the time in, you know, hours and hours, they'll be nice at it, and I think they'll be rewarded for it. But it's something where you can't move with the quarterback while you do it, so it takes away your mobility, and it's just not something I can see someone doing every down. But when you do go to it, if you mastered it, I think it'll be money. And last, I kind of clumped some more things together because there's a lot I could talk about. But I want to talk about the usering. The usering feels pretty good. So one of the first tweaks they did is they changed the ball hawk. You can't just hold Y from the beginning of the play, or you'll be penalized for doing that. So I like that. The left stick, it feels a little more wiggly, not in like a really bad way. I just noticed when I was running the ball, I wasn't even touching the right stick sometimes. I was just making nice moves. I was hitting holes and doing some really good things. I don't know if this is a Frostbite physics thing, but it just felt like I was scooting. Not like in a cheesy way. Like I wasn't able to just run back and forth, but it felt, I liked where it was at. And so I'd like to see your guys' feedback once you get your hands on the game. They did change the jukes. I didn't get enough time. By the time I really realized it, I didn't get a time to like deep dive. Because I feel like it's been changing over the last few months, but I didn't get like, I feel like the quick juke is gone. Again, don't quote me on none of this, but it does feel more effective. All of the jukes feel a lot better. I took a kickoff back. I made some pretty big runs in team play, and it feels good. It feels like they work better than last year, but I can't comment on exactly what is in, what was removed, what's been added. But that's one of the things you guys got to check out. And I talked to some people at EA Play, and they co-signed that too, that they felt like the juke moves were improved. So I'm really excited with that. I'm really excited with where that's going. And lastly, the hit stick and the tackling. They took the hit stick off of the X button. It's now back on the right stick. You know, like some of the older Madden, so you hit stick up on the stick to hit high, down to hit low. And they also took the heat seeker off of it, so it's a lot harder to execute. You have to be perfectly lined up to get that hit stick. I was giving up crazy big runs just because I was used to it being X and being heat seeker in it. It's so much harder this year. They also took away the warp animations from the back. You have to use the X to dive now to tackle. And so the warp animations, you can't just spam main, get that crazy warp. I love that. So I like the direction they're going with the usering. There's a few things I didn't touch on here that I'm happy about, like zones are fixed. Deep zones feel a little bit better. The purples seem as purpley as they've ever been. And so with, you know, somebody changes to tackling and usering, I think that the run game is going to be really big this year because a lot of people were struggling. There, I saw a lot of picks being thrown at EA Play. So we'll see, though. I thought the run game was, I liked where it was at the beginning of the year. It was stoppable, but enough people complained and they patched it. So I'm actually hoping they don't do that this year, but we'll see. But those are my 10. I hope I wasn't too drawn out, too long-winded. If you still have questions following this, let me know below. I'll go through, get some of the popular ones. You can also tweet me, and I will answer those in a Q&A video if necessary. If there's not enough questions, maybe I'll just reply on Twitter. But if there is, I'll give you that, hopefully to hold you guys over, let you guys know what to expect, and then hopefully we get some gameplay soon. But I appreciate you guys rocking with your boy. Support means the world. If you're new, hit that subscribe button. I got tons of more Madden 18 news and gameplay coming for you. And until next time, God first, God bless.